Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and thanks for coming to listen. Now, this episode, you're probably looking at it, it's way shorter than my usual episode, but I'm out in Chicago right now. Hell yeah, I'm away from all of the busyness of work and all that junk. I'm actually probably enjoying myself right now, at least fingers crossed that I am, because I'm not recording this in the moment. It is pre-recorded, breaking the fourth wall, but I think I already did that last episode if you listened. If you haven't, go back and check it out, please. It's always appreciated. But today, I just kind of wanted to touch on the current status of music, and that's why it's a bit shorter. I have some very specific thoughts of kind of where everything's going in terms of releasing music, and it does touch on a little bit of what I was mentioning with Arrows in Action just a while ago, as they are the prime suspect, at least that I've seen personally, to release songs time and time again and make it a part of this album, but in reality the album has already been heard. Like, there's only one song that hasn't been heard yet, and that is something that has been weighing on my mind just the littlest bit. And the whole thing with artistic integrity. And I know I kind of went on this tangent once before, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper, as I still haven't really changed my outlook. I still feel like some artists and bands, and I'm not even naming any specific. The only reason I named Arrows is because they're the ones that I see doing it on Twitter all the time. They come out with a new song, and it's the best one ever in the world, best song, the usual, as what an artist usually says, and I get it. You always want to put forward what is your best thing, and if you're making something and putting your whole heart and soul into it, you're gonna think that it is the best thing that you've ever made, even if it most certainly isn't. And I'm not saying anything about their music. Again, I want to stress that. It's just the simple fact of the matter that artistic integrity is something that I don't think a lot of artists really think about, because you have to really dive into why you're making music, and everyone has their own reason. I understand that not everyone gives a shit about artistic integrity, and that I can't personally agree with, but I can at least understand to some extent, as some people literally are just in it for the money or to get noticed, to get famous. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what the right reason is. I just am gonna sit here and tell you what I think about the whole situation. And maybe it's just a situation that I am kind of making for myself or creating for myself, but artistic integrity is just something that I find very, very hard to come across nowadays. And I don't really know why. Maybe it's because everything's already been drained to the absolute limit and pushed to the absolute limit as well. Like, there's not anything new anymore, and that's fine. Obviously, people can create things with the inspiration from these things that they love, and that's how we've gotten a lot of bands recently and the music that they've been creating, or a lot of video games, like people that grew up playing something like Kingdom Hearts and then going on to make something brand new that is directly inspired, or even that Lost Aside game, which is coming out, I believe, maybe as I'm talking about it, it probably came out last Friday. I believe it's called Lost Aside or Soul Aside. Brand new game, but it was inspired by Versus 13, which we never got, mind you, and that's not the point, but it was inspired by a game and literally just the vibe it gave. And am curious to obviously play that, or at least experience it in some way, but it's that kind of thing. Like, people that are inspired, they can create very good things, but it also leaves it open for things to be phoned in, and that is what I don't really agree with. Things being phoned in, kind of drilled to the ground, literally milked dry. And I personally am not somebody that supports that kind of thing. I think it's something that is very destructive in the creative world. And that's not even touching on AI. That's, oh my God, AI is something of its own beast, and is also a problem with the current state of artistic integrity, because how else can one go? They literally post AI little prompts everywhere for you to just, oh, hey, instead of writing this and putting your heart and soul into it and saying exactly what you want to say, let's let a computer do it for you. That doesn't feel right to me. It removes the most important part to the art, and that's the humanity that it has, for better or for worse, be it a good piece of art or a shitty one. And that's the point of art, is that it is subjective, and something I might find amazing, you might find absolute shit. And it is what it is. But I feel like everything is just kind of being more turned into slop and something to just fill up the trough for us to eat and then instantly want more of, because it was so hollow and no nutrition within it whatsoever, to where we're just left always wanting more and nutritionally deprived in the sake of art. And I know it's not the case. There are artists out there that are amazing. Brand new artists, old artists, all alike. Be it my favorites like Black Veil, or even some new ones that Caden, my buddy, shout out to you, man, was able to show me. Like Clayton Niall Young, or Harf, or Sam Barber, or NF, or, Devil Wears Prada, like Valley. A lot of bands that I love are more of the artistic type, and I love a lot of artists. My music taste is vast. It can go from Taylor Swift to Lorna Shore, anywhere in between. Like, I like a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying all of it has to have the massive artistic integrity that I'm looking for, but I do believe that if an artist is going to release something, that they should at least stand behind it and be proud. Be proud that their name is attached to it, because once you put something out there that is art, there's no way of taking that back. Once it's out there, it's out there, be it on your terms or not. So you better make sure it's exactly what you're wanting to say and exactly what you're trying to put across. And I know I'm kind of rambling, but I do have a point in saying all of this. It's just to kind of start a conversation, because I feel the artistic integrity, and yeah, I've probably said that word like 5-6 times now, but it's something that's been lacking lately, especially with TikTok, with the algorithm, if you will, and with AI. And it makes me sad as, I want to say, an artist, but I don't feel like I've actually achieved that title yet, because I haven't created any songs. I know I am creative, and I do write poetry of my own and have my own little moments, which I will get to actually sharing here sometime soon, hopefully. I don't have any progress made on any songs or anything, but that's not what this is about. It's just, with wanting to create, it's really made me think more upon it. And I think the only thing that I could really attribute to having artistic integrity nowadays, and that hasn't been bled dry, is something like Calvin and Hobbes. And it's because the creator, even if he is passed, I don't know if he is or not, but the creator, usually when they pass, if it doesn't happen beforehand, they lose all say. And the studios that want to make money, they're going to make that money, and regardless. And it just takes to whoever you gave your art to then sell you out. And I'm very glad that Calvin and Hobbes hasn't done that. I know they're not music by any means, but still in the same realm of creativity and art. I know it's a comic strip, but it's still art, regardless of how you want to look at it. It's drawings and it is a story. And there's a lot of heart in Calvin and Hobbes. If you don't know what it is, please at least Google search it, because it is something that deserves the recognition, and especially is very honored in my eyes, that it's never gone to a movie or some sort of TV show or some sort of cartoon. Like, there's never been any adaptation of it, because it has the artistic integrity to be what it is, and that alone. And I know that kind of makes it so it's not going to capture your attention. It's not going to be always there, because now we get things shoved down our throats of more, like Kylo Ren says in the memes. But that's what everyone thinks is the right thing to do, which in some cases, it's not. Sometimes, sure, maybe more is good, but more isn't always the answer. More isn't always what people want. Like with the new Taylor Swift album, since that's coming out soon and will be in the public conscience, it only has 12 tracks. And if she's being honest, I have no idea if she is or not, it has the artistic integrity to be able to have only 12 tracks with no deluxe tracks, no bonus songs, no 2 a.m. editions or anything crazy like that. Because she says exactly what she needs to say in these songs. And I don't know what the songs are going to sound like, so I will kind of transition to say something like 21 Pilots with their albums. They very much know exactly what they want to say. There's never been a deluxe album from them, and I'm not trying to shit on deluxe albums. I enjoy them. I understand where they take place, why they have their place in music, but it does leave you wondering, like, is this all just to get more money? Is this to keep in the public conscience? And I know I talked about artistic integrity, but something that's actually pissed me off quite a bit, and this is just me complaining. I know it's not for me. If I am complaining, just don't buy them. But the different variants Taylor Swift has been releasing, like, I am a Swiftie. I support her. And this is something that I can't. It just feels predatory and very much money hungry. Like, literally, it's good business. Very good business. Released 20 different variants. I believe there's 8 covers at this point as I'm recording this. And there might even be more by the time this episode drops. But that alone, like, that is that artistic integrity? Having so many different album variants? Like, yes, it's exciting. You're creating this great, vast thing. But how can I not view something as money hungry? How can I look at something and not instantly think, like, this is just a plot to get more money or to get people to listen to it, buy every single variant, and then, wow, look at this, I'm charting forever. You know, like, I just made the album of the decade by sales because I had sold 20 different versions of the same album just because they're a different color or have a different picture on the front. And to those collecting them, power to you. If you have the money, power to you. If this is your hobby, power to you. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just the practice of the people that are worried, that maybe don't have the money and feel like they're going to miss out on it, but this is their favorite artist, so they just keep on shelling out this money, racking up that credit card debt, and falling deeper into a hole. And that doesn't feel very good to me. And I know that's something Taylor Swift can't worry herself about. No artist can worry themselves about, because if they do, why would they ever release anything? Because, oh my God, I'm going to have somebody go into poverty because of me. Oh my God. But I feel like there should be a limit. And that in itself is kind of maybe not so much artistic integrity, but just integrity as a human being itself. And that might be a little bit of a reach, but I just kind of wanted to give my 2 thoughts, my 2 cents, if you will. And I hope that something changes. I hope that if it doesn't change, just, you know, obviously I'll still support the artists that I know have it and that I enjoy. And I feel like there will always be a place that artistic integrity doesn't exist. And I just am kind of saying it right now to spark the conversation for people to remember that artistic integrity matters and is important towards music, towards art, to anything, really. You have to really believe in what you're doing. And if it's just hollow slop that we're seeing, especially with the AI era, I just hope it doesn't go any further than it already has. And on that note, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if it sparks a conversation, I would love to talk even more about it on maybe a coming episode. Maybe I can even dedicate a whole series to just that topic if there's enough to, you know, go on about. But I've already rambled for like 15 minutes. And again, it is about time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be back soon with a proper full-length episode all about my trip, about MCR, seeing Long Live the Black Parade, which that in itself, some people might think that's not having artistic integrity because of the cash grab aspect. I don't even know where to begin, because the more you think about it, the deeper you dive. It's kind of hard to tell, but using your best judgment, enjoy what you enjoy, love what you love, and support what you support. And I just hope that it leads to good things and the right things for art in general, because that is something that if this world loses, it's probably one of the biggest losses that the whole world would ever face. Again, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for discovering the music within.